This is the iPhone 11, and this is the iPhone SE. Also ignore the background, it looks like crap, but we're not here for that, we're here for these phones. Now, Apple finally released a new 2020 version of the iPhone SE, so now this is new and improved. It has new chipsets that are exactly the same chipsets from the iPhone 11. Not sure about the RAM, but the processor and the graphics are exactly the same as the iPhone 11, the more expensive, bigger brother. Now, when I say that, of course, you're not gonna get the dual cameras over here on the iPhone SE 2020 edition. You're not gonna get the face unlock. You're not gonna get the edge-to-edge display. There's a bunch of obvious things that just by looking at it, you can tell you're not gonna get out of this phone. But for $300 less than its bigger brother, this is a steal, especially when compared to other budget Android phones out there on the market. Now, you might be asking, why am I comparing a $700 phone to a $400 phone, where these are really the only two budget-friendly options that Apple provides. Of course, there's also the iPhone XR. They're still selling that on their website, but it's $600 compared to $700 for the iPhone 11. So it's really not worth the purchase. Now, I'm not gonna go in depth with all the technical specs of both these phones. You can look that up on your own. Apple has a comparison thing straight on their website, so you don't need somebody to run you through it. What I am gonna do is talk about the real-world day-to-day usability differences between each phone, especially if you're someone who's on an older iPhone. Maybe you still have an iPhone 8, or maybe even later than that. Or you're someone who's on an older, outdated Android phone, or just an Android phone in general, and you want to get into the iOS ecosystem. Now, of course, the most obvious difference between these two phones is the display. Display is clearly much smaller on the 2020 iPhone SE. Like, if I just put the edges together, like where the edge of the actual screen begins, you can see how much screen real estate you are getting on the iPhone 11 here. But when I was actually using the phone, when I was searching through the web, like watching YouTube videos, playing Call of Duty Mobile, I really didn't miss too much. I mean, it took a little bit of adjustment, but once I got used to it, like, it wasn't much of something like I agonized over. In terms of display technology, they're pretty much identical. They both have haptic feedback, both have P3 color gamut, true tone. They basically have the same exact screen. It's just one is slightly higher resolution just because it's longer. So you're getting a little bit more resolution just because of the length of the phone. But in terms of actual quality and sharpness and all that, they're exactly the same. And brightness as well. If I go here, turn them all the way up, the brightness is identical. They're both, I think, 625 nits of brightness, so you're not missing out on anything like that. And on the iPhone SE, you still get all the swipes and gestures you would get on the iPhone 11. It's just reversed. But of course, on the iPhone SE, you're not gonna get the new camera system with Face Unlock. You're stuck with Touch ID, but honestly, it's not a huge deal. And Touch ID still works amazing. Like, their last iteration of Touch ID was blazing fast, so it's not gonna be like you're missing out on the speed of accessing your phone. Though when I was using this phone, I actually kind of missed having a button on my iPhone, weirdly. Like, I actually really enjoyed just clicking down on it. Like, the haptic feedback that they figured out with these iPhones that still had buttons before they switched over, is perfect. Like, it's honestly really satisfying to click down on this button and just get that haptic feedback. It's really enjoyable, and I kind of miss it now. But beyond that, if we take a look around the phone, you would actually notice that the iPhone SE is a bit thinner than the iPhone 11, and it's noticeable in the hand. Like, you notice that it's a bit thinner and a bit lighter. Of course, if we take a look on the back here, you can see cameras clearly different. On the iPhone SE, you're only getting one camera system, and an iPhone 11 you get two. Now, you would expect that the camera on the iPhone SE is pretty much the exact same standard camera that you have on the iPhone 11, not the ultra wide, just a normal one that's always been on the iPhones. And in terms of the front facing camera, as you can see here, the front facing camera on the iPhone SE is only 7 megapixels. It's not 12 like the iPhone 11. So the images aren't gonna be as sharp, not gonna be as nice. And of course, on the iPhone SE, you still get portrait mode, so you still have that ability front or back to do portraits here. But a thing to note with the iPhone SE, you're not gonna get all that slow-mo ability that the iPhone 11 has, so you're not gonna be taking slow feeds. You're not gonna have 4K video as well as something that's unrestricted to the iPhone 11. You're not gonna be able to do a few things and get as crisp of image quality as you would be with the iPhone 11, but again, I think the image quality you're gonna get from this thing is still gonna be much higher than most of the other budget phones out there. Now, in terms of audio quality, the speakers on the iPhone SE are clearly not the best. They're definitely last gen, especially considering that the iPhone 11 has Dolby Atmos, so it sounds way better. I'm gonna give you a quick audio test here so you can compare it for yourself.
It better.
The speakers are passable on the iPhone SE, but once you use something like the iPhone 11 with the Dolby Atmos, it's really hard to go back. But of course, this isn't for people who are trying to go back from an iPhone 11 to an iPhone SE. This is for people who are looking for a new iPhone who may be using an older generation or an other budget Android phone. One thing that I did notice when comparing these two phones is that the display on the iPhone SE did appear a tad bit warmer than the iPhone 11. It's not extreme. It's not like you're completely orange on the iPhone SE screen, but I did notice that the skin tones and just the overall color did seem a tad bit warmer. And again, this is with True Tone display off. This is with night shift off. All those things are turned off. It's just this display straight out of the gate. Now, some quick comparisons here. The iPhone SE can last 30 minutes in 1 meter of water, whereas the iPhone 11 can last 30 minutes in 2 meters of water. Double the distance, which is good. But if you're throwing your phone in the ocean, it's probably not going to come out alive anyway. As far as the wireless technology, both phones pretty much have the exactly same Bluetooth and Wi-Fi and cellular chips. Just the iPhone 11 has Ultra Band, which I don't even know what it's for, and you probably don't either, so don't worry about it. All the sensors in the phone, gyroscopes, accelerometers, all that stuff is exactly identical on both phones. As far as battery life is concerned, the iPhone SE can get you 13 hours of video playback, whereas the iPhone 11 can get you 17 hours. It's a pretty substantial difference there, but 13 hours should get most people through the day, no problem. And as far as storage goes, both phones offer the exact same storage configuration. So you got 64, 128, and 256. And of course, there are a bunch of other little differences you can see on the website for yourself. But overall, just from a usability standpoint, I really didn't mind using the iPhone SE as much as I thought I would. I thought I'd really hate these big giant chin and forehead it has right here. I thought I would hate using the button again. And the fact that the screen is about an inch smaller than iPhone 11. But overall, I really didn't mind it at all. It's really not that bad. I mean, that's kind of the whole overall concept of the entire phone. It's not bad for the price, especially. And especially if you're someone who's on a much, much older iPhone, this is really a steal. For the price, this is a fantastic purchase in my opinion. Honestly, my biggest frustration using the iPhone SE was just learning the gestures and figuring out, oh, you have to swipe from the bottom to get to your control center. It's not from the corner anymore. Now, if you swipe up, all it gives you is your notification menu. So things like that were the only thing that really kind of made me take pause. It's like, oh, I got to relearn how to use this phone, especially that it has a button. And again, just to hammer this home, they have the same internals. They have the same processor. They have the same performance, essentially. You're not going to miss out. This is not going to be a laggier phone simply because it's the cheaper model. So if you're someone who's on a budget and you need a new iPhone, this is a fantastic one to get. I think this is a great buy if you're looking for a new phone or if you need a new phone, your own cracked, or if you're just trying to get a second phone for work. Maybe you have a freelancing gig and you want to separate entire line for that, or if you're getting a phone for your kid or whatever, like this is gonna be fine. They're gonna be able to play Fortnite or Call of Duty or wherever it is, no problem. Basically the good enough phone for most people out there. And I think that's exactly what Apple was intending to do with this. So anyway, that was my quick comparison between these two iPhones. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you found it useful. If you're considering picking up the iPhone SE or the iPhone 11, please let me know in the comments down below why or why not. And if you really like this video, I pretty appreciate it if you subscribe. It really means a lot to me. But as always, my name is Joshua Joe Munoz. Stay sexy, and I'll see you sometime.